Hello, Wade here, just showing off my nether minecart roller coaster ride. To start it off, we have a little track leading up to the entrance to the ride itself. Kind of was making a little bit of a, what do you call it? It's like an amusement park sort of setup. So I have a little entrance here where the line would typically be. There's a few signs sort of giving some facts and figures about the length of the track and how long it'll take. The original intent for this minecart ride was actually to be just a fast track through the nether to get to a Mooshroom island that I'd found on the overworld. But it took too long to sail there, and so going through the nether would be a lot quicker. So made a minecart track through the nether. But in making it, I wanted to make it a little bit more exciting and a little bit more entertaining for riders to be on while they were on the track. And you'll notice that there is lots of glass here. There's lots of glass exactly 2 blocks above the track, which go right through your head. This is to prevent mobs from spawning on the track. Without this, you can't do it going uphill on these ones, but when it's flat, I try to put as much glass over the track as possible. Because without it, mobs spawn on the track, or they can walk onto the track. And that would, of course, stop the cart. And that's pretty annoying. It actually can still happen anyway, so we'll see if it happens here, but luckily it doesn't provide too much of a visual annoyance. There's one right there, but see, he couldn't go on the track. Building around this lava in this was originally in a survival server, and so building through the lava like this was really dangerous, and I died many times. But that's okay. I still think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, another thing that happens which I'm confused about, which is too bad, is once you're on a minecart for a certain amount of time, the sound stops looping. I'm hoping that they fix this in future releases. Maybe if you're listening to this, they've already fixed it. That would be super cool. Alright, now for the longest stretch of just a straight cart track. So because this goes straight for like the next minute and a half, I tried to add as many visually interesting things around it. As you can see, there's carts that sort of drive themselves, going up and over the track, and other sort of little visual attractions for the player to see as they're going. And other straight tracks slowly, one by one, add on each side of the player, giving the feeling of an expanding track set, getting wider and wider. This took thousands and thousands of rails, but it was a lot of fun. This probably took me a week just to farm all the materials and set them all up. On the way back, you'll actually see all of the redstone underneath all of these powered rails to make this run. It's pretty incredible. And now we are about to enter the confusing area. Oh yeah, there's a little teaser. It says that the ride's going to be over in about 30 seconds. But yeah, this is sort of like the cramped area. Lots of twists and turns, low-hanging ceilings. Meant to sort of not confuse the player, but, you know, make them lose what direction they're going. Little fires everywhere. "15 seconds. So yeah, coming up as well is a false ending. The player thinks that the ride is going to be over in 30 seconds and then 15 seconds. But there is a redstone switch here that the player is going to go over. Just when they think the ride is going to end, you're only halfway through. And there it goes. The ground explodes out from underneath you, and you fall to what you think might be your death. But these tracks catch you, and you go on an even crazier journey from here on out, exploring what it looks like on the bottom. So here's a pig that spawned on the track. What I employed here is actually a visual trick. You're not actually looking into the void there, but I put a bunch of black wool underneath the track, so it makes it look like you're sort of driving over blackness. And you can actually see it ahead of you as well. It looks like you're looking into voids. And then a little misdirection there where you think you're going to drive forward, but it takes you to the left. Oh, another guy on the track. Yeah, so this is not a very safe journey for the player, but if they really want to see the Mushroom Island in a quick sense, then they have to put in a little effort to get there. I just wish there was a safer, maybe a safer way for a minecart travel. Like, I'd love to upgrade these carts to have like metal cages around them or something, so the player is like protected. Or like maybe a machine gun on the front or something to like shoot off mobs in front of you. And then the final little spectacle. Going through these colored gates, I thought it was sort of fun, leading up to the big finale of all the portals. And those portals would lead you to the Mushroom Island if you were alive, but I died here, so what we're actually going to do here is cut and then start the journey back, because the ride back was actually a different experience entirely. So you start on the same track, and this will this normally would take you back to the very beginning. And so we'll see here, as you can see, the track there departs a little bit, and you get to see the guts of how the colored doors opening and closing worked there. You can see the redstone torches set up with some delays. Now we're rejoined with the original track, but going backwards. But very shortly here we will again defer to a different track, and you'll see some other visual interesting things that I've put together for the player, should they not go up and get, you know, a soda or something in the 5 minutes or so that it takes to get back. I always thought it would be super cool to be able to drive on lava like this, like in real life. This would be super cool to do, just driving on lava like this. If your pants didn't set on fire, that is. Be pretty warm. Oh, here's another thing I noticed when I was filming, or when I was making the tracks, is that when you make two corners side by side, it makes it just the player go perfectly straight diagonally. And so when you put glass above it like this, it kind of makes it look like you're zooming through a warp field. And I thought that'd be pretty cool to do. Something else different that you'll see here on the way back is that you actually stop and get off of the track temporarily and head up some super steep stairs. And yeah, there's a curiosity shop at the top, which you will see here in just a moment. Of course, there's no railings on the stairs. That would be too much fun to just put in. Excuse me, dude. So part of the inspiration for this room was I grew up in Spokane, and there's this restaurant called Cyrus O'Leary Pies, and they had this little train that would go around the top of the room the entire time. So I put one of those in here that just continuously goes on in a cycle. But unlike Cyrus O'Leary's, this place doesn't have a weird, creepy, flipping clown at the entrance. I didn't like that clown at all. And we are back on the road. complete with glass going through the head. So coming up here is more sort of like the guts on the track on the way here. So we're gonna go underneath the what I would call like the highway system of light rails, and you get to see all of the torches, as I had mentioned before, that light all of the powered rails to get you on the way here. Yeah, and so yeah, there's dozens and dozens of carts on the tracks. They sort of look like ghost carts going the whole time. And all you have to do is just add a few inclines and declines here and there, so that each time you load, there's always carts in motion. And sometimes mobs like the zombie pigmen will be riding them randomly, which is super cool. And this just sort of gives you a bird's eye view of the ride here on the ride back. And I have the player circling what I'd consider like sort of a point of interest, which is this sort of spiraling tower here that I have in the middle, that carts go up and up and up and up, and at the top they get ejected out and they get launched back onto the path, completing the cycle. But I thought it was super cool. Yeah, I had a lot of fun making that and making sure the carts could go up and up and up. As you'll see, there's lots of carts all over the place because they actually occasionally get spit out. The physics isn't perfect for each launch, and so I have to put a whole bunch of about once a week I have to put a whole bunch of more carts on there, or once every couple weeks, because over time it eventually spits them out all over the place. Most of them go back on the track, but some of them do not, so it ends up being sort of a minecart graveyard around there. But I like to leave them there. I think it looks kind of cool. You'll notice I say that I think a lot of things look kind of cool, and that's the reason I put them in. Because they look kind of cool. And now the next part, Ascension. So this has the player going up and up for a while, and carved a large chunk out of the world vertically to give sort of another visual spectacle interest thing as the player climbs up and up and up. So we went from seeing the bottom of the world, and now the intention is to show the player, the top of the world, top of the nether. Here we go, up and up and up. And it barely makes it, just enough momentum to get to each powered rail. And so yeah, keeping with the sense of wonder, it's kind of like, wait a second, I thought I was just going back to the beginning. Well, you are, it's just, I wanted to see what it'd be like to sort of drive up here and lead the player along this sort of wonderful, wonderful journey. And then again, a little bit more misdirection there. You think you're going to go forward, and you actually fall down, falling backwards, twisted around back into the hot world of the lava. Notice all of the stilts that I built all of these tracks on to make it look like they require stilts to be built on, even though everything can be freestanding in Minecraft. I like it when it visually looks like there's weight to the things that you're riding on. It makes it more interesting to give everything a structure, to make it look structurally sound, even though it's not. parts like this where it's just straight, where you can't see underneath, I don't put those pegs, but if you can see it from the side, I try to put pegs or stilts or whatever they're called to help help make it look more structurally safe. Coming up on the final part here, we ramp up the speed and have the player zooming through this fortress in the nether for the last couple minutes of the player's journey. Going through all the different blazes, and going back and forth through different areas. Oh no, don't attack me, Mr. Blaze. I think this part's funny. Whoop. Not gonna go through. So just almost towards the end here, and those dudes start wrecking me. And I was not sure if I was gonna survive this run. And I do. Spoiler. There you go. Let's see. But yeah, it's I've died more than once making and riding on this. So now finally, again, we are rejoined with the original track, and it leads right back up to the very beginning of before you even started the track. So hopefully you had fun watching that, and thanks for watching.